Okay. Well, good morning and a huge ISP welcome to our children and teachers across. Please make sure that you are on mute. This is really important, or we're going to echo all the way through today's session. Lovely. Today is exciting for 3 reasons. The first reason, it is the International Day of Literacy. The second reason is it's the launch for our ISP Middle East Reading Challenge. And the third reason is that we are welcoming author Stephanie Roberts as our first children's author to speak digitally across all of our schools in the Middle East. So it's going to be a fantastic and exciting day. To help today run smoothly, please make sure you keep yourselves on mute. If you've got any questions as Stephanie is talking, you can type them in the chat box, and if there's time at the end, Stephanie's going to answer them. If there's not time, then Stephanie has really kindly said we can email her our questions and she'll get back to us with some exciting answers. Today's talk is being recorded, so if you want to, you'll be able to revisit our author visit and hear Stephanie's wonderful story again. Have a lovely time, everybody. And Stephanie, a huge thank you for joining us today. I know we are in for a really exciting and fantastic session.
Thank you so much for such a lovely introduction, and good morning to all of you children. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am super excited this morning, and if you are excited, you can give me a thumbs up from your side. I want to see everyone giving me a big thumbs up to let me know that you're also super excited. Fantastic. And this is such a wonderful opportunity for me to be able to connect with all of you. Do you realize there are hundreds of you? I am so grateful to be able to share this story with all of you at the same time. So my name is Stephanie Robert, and I'm a children's author. And I've written 2 books. The first one is titled Tiago's Shell. And the second one, which we'll be exploring together today, is titled Stella's Song. But before we get into the books, I think you might have noticed all my little friends here this morning. So I'd love to introduce you to all of my jungle friends. So this right here is Jeffy the giraffe. Say hi to Jeffy. And then we have hiding here, snuggled up next to me, Uncle Eddie the Ellie. And up here we have our mischievous Archie the monkey, and his cousin right here, Swingy the monkey. And we have a new addition to our jungle family. Up here is Marcelo the macaw, and he's from the Amazon in Brazil. And last but not least, I'd like you to meet the star of our show, and her name is Stella. So before we start to explore Stella's song, I want to tell you a little bit about my first book. So I actually didn't know I was going to be an author for a very long time. And one day I decided to write a book for my son because he was feeling a little bit shy. And I want you to know that it's absolutely normal and okay. We all feel shy sometimes, but sometimes there are some magical tricks that can help us overcome our shyness. And that was the reason behind this book titled Tiago's Shell. So I was very lucky because I wrote the book and I shared it with my boys at night, and they loved the story, but they said to me, "Mommy, we love the story, but it would be so nice to have some pictures." We also called pictures illustrations. And then I had a light bulb moment and I realized that my brother was an artist and he lives here in Dubai like me. And I said, what if we sat together and we worked on some illustrations? So this is a very, very special moment where I can actually share with you what illustrations look like. So this is how an artist starts to work out a page layout. And then after that, he adds the color. So you see, once you have your story that you've used your imagination to create, and you have your creative artistic abilities that all come together, you then, before you know it, have a book. So I want to share that with you, to encourage all of you, if any of you children are aspiring authors, to let you know that anything is possible as long as you believe that you can do it. So now, let's just talk about, oh, Stella is always interrupting me with her little secrets. Yes, what is it, Stella? 1 minute, children. Stella says that you all look like very brave children. Am I right? Give me a thumbs up if you're all very brave children. Excellent. And she's also, yes, she's also telling me that she'd like you to know that she's feeling a little bit nervous today. So what does nervous feel like in our bodies? It's a perfectly normal and okay feeling to have, and we all have it, children and adults. Your parents feel nervous sometimes too, and nervous in our body feels like butterflies in our stomach, or sometimes you could have shaky hands, or maybe your heart is beating a little faster, and all these things are perfectly normal, and it's also the things you feel when you're excited. So how about that? Is that another magic trick? Using words to make you feel slightly more positive about what you're feeling in your body. So when you're feeling nervous and you have butterflies, maybe you could actually say to yourself, I am excited. So once you start that, you can also say to yourself, I love learning new things. How about this one? This is my favorite one. I might have even told myself this morning. I can do this. And with Stella's song, you'll discover that you are unique. And Tiago discovered that he was brave. And right now, to start the story, I am calm. So, shall we start the story together? I think it's time. What does the cover of a story tell us? We have the title, Stella's song, and we have the setting of the story. Are we in the desert? No. Are we underwater? No. I think we might be deep in the jungle for our adventure today. And on the cover of a book, we also have the main character. Is it a snake? No. Is it a monkey? No, it's an elephant. Stella the elephant, who you've already just met. So without further ado, children, let's start our story. And I want you to help me in your classrooms. I want you to repeat after me the first 4 words. Are we all ready? Yes? Do you have your listening ears? I need your listening ears. Fantastic. So repeat after me. Thump, 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 thump. These are the sounds of Stella's big jump. She's a joyful little elephant, friendly, playful, magnificent. Stella lives in the wild, wild jungle with her mother, father, and one crazy kind uncle. She loves her school, her friends, and her life. But there's one little thing that's causing her strife. Stella feels different from the little Ellie she meets, with her twisted trunk and her enormous feet. She wishes her ears were a wee bit smaller, and she wouldn't mind being a little bit taller. Stella's had enough of not feeling the same, of not being on the little Ellie's games. She's tired of giant feet that never let her win, and a twisted trunk that puts her head in a spin. Feeling different can often be lonely. If only I could change who I am, she says, if only. Maybe then I could play every game and even win. I'll never make friends being me, at least not in this jungle I live in. Stella roams off to think for a bit. She passes by a tree and decides to sit. Her eyes feel heavy, and she says to herself, I'll just take a quick little nap. That always helps. Not before long, Stella drifts off to sleep. Her imagination starts to bubble as she begins to dream deep. She's about to take a journey, a magical trip. It starts with a smile, a hop, and a skip. In her dream, she packs a bag full of bananas and nuts. I will make friends today, she says. No ifs, ands, or buts. Just for one day, I can really be free, and everyone I meet will just love me for me. Over logs and trees, she bows and bends, enjoying new sounds and sights and scents. A rainbow of colors arches over a tree, and there are plenty of creatures she can suddenly see. Keen to explore, she stops for a while. Well, this is exciting, she says with a smile. I might be frightened, but my brave's much louder. When I get back to my herd, they'd have never been prouder. Back in the jungle, Stella's family realizes she's missing from the herd. When no thumps, no giggles, no jokes, nothing at all can be heard. Without Stella, things aren't quite the same. The littlest Ellies especially miss her playing their silly Ellie games. Oh, where could Stella be? Her parents wondered impatiently. Oh, relax, said her uncle. She'll be back soon. That girl could find her way home by the light of the moon. Then her cousin shouts, hey, I have a great plan to bring Stella back as quick as we can. Let's tell the world about Stella, every wonderful thing, from her feet to her trunk to the way she can sing. Her family and friends burst into song, singing Stella's praises all afternoon long. Have you seen our lovely Stella, they sing, with voices so sweet? Tell her we love her, from her trunk to her feet. Meanwhile, in her dream, Stella is having so much fun. She's running round and round and she's basking in the sun. I've made so many friends of all shapes and sizes. From monkeys to giraffes, this jungle is full of surprises. She plays all kinds of games with her new furry mates, from I Spy to tic-tac-toe and even a game of chase. But as the sun goes down in her dream, she knows she has to say goodbye. After all, she has a family and they'll be standing by. A few moments later, Stella slowly begins to wake. She realizes she'd fallen asleep completely by mistake. She leaps up onto her feet with a jungle booming moan. My family's going to be worried sick. I'd better hurry home. As she gets closer to the jungle, she begins to ponder. What happened while I was asleep? Was I missed, I wonder? She feels a bit nervous as she's about to appear, but then suddenly she hears a very loud cheer. There in the jungle, her family and friends all looked so pleased. They had heard her loud thumps through the leaves of the trees. They welcome her back and tell her, this is where you belong. You must always be yourself and sing your own song. They shower her with kisses and offer a massive cuddle, with loving trunks wrapping her up in a giant family huddle. Is this how much you love me, she says. This feels so very good. I didn't think I belonged. I guess I misunderstood. We never want you to feel left out, they all say at once. We love everything about you, your laugh, your trunk, and especially your bounce. It's been too quiet without you, Stella. In fact, it's been a chore. Life without you, Stella, really is a bore. I had no idea, Stella says. If only I had known then what I know now. I'd have never questioned who I am or what I was or how. I love you all so much. There has never been a doubt. But now I can sing from the treetops. I will always be myself, no matter what, inside and out. And that is the end of our story. But before we go on, I want to read you what I have written here on the last page. It says, dear little reader, I hope you enjoyed the story. I hope you like the rhymes. Now you can enjoy finding the butterfly on every page. You'll have such a fun time. So you can go back in the book and you can find the butterfly that's hiding on every single page. I hope you really enjoyed that story. And before we move on to our guided imagination exercise, I just wanted to share with you the message of the story. So it's very important that Stella lets you know that you are more magnificent than you could ever imagine. And you are ever so loved, also much more than you could ever imagine. And how boring would life be if we were all exactly the same? So you must always celebrate your uniqueness and celebrate that you are truly magnificent, exactly the way you are. Thank you so much for being such great listeners. And now I have a special surprise for you. I'm going to wave my magic wand. And this is one of my favorite parts of the reading. I'd like you all to be very, very quiet. You must stay cute. And most of all, I need you to close your eyes. So if everyone can gently close their eyes and get into a very comfortable position. And I'm going to put a little gentle music on. And you just have to listen to my words, and we're going to go on an imagination adventure together. So everyone closing their eyes. I'd like you to take 3 deep breaths with me, starting with the first. You inhale through your nose and you fill your belly up like a big balloon, and then you let the air out through your mouth. Now another deep breath, filling up your belly. Wow. And the third breath, I want it to be the deepest breath you've ever taken. And with that last exhale, you can relax your shoulders. And keeping your eyes closed, I'd like you to imagine and visualize that you are a magnificent elephant in the jungle. And you've got these enormous feet that keep you firmly grounded on the earth. And you have a beautiful twisted trunk that lets you take deep breaths. Let's take another breath. And now I want you to picture what color elephant you might be. You could be pink or blue or green or maybe even rainbow colored. It's your imagination. So you can be any color you wish. And now, as we walk through the jungle, we see a beautiful coconut palm tree. Oh, it looks so inviting that we decide to sit. And you can snuggle up your back against this tree trunk, and it's so comfortable. And you're feeling so relaxed that you decide to take a nap. Another deep breath, and now I'd like you to imagine using all your senses and see what you can hear. I hear little monkeys giggling. Can you try to imagine that sound? I also hear birds happily chirping. And maybe you can even hear the leaves swish, swoosh in the gentle jungle breeze. And now I want you to see if you can feel that little water droplet on the tip of your nose. That was so ticklish. And did you see that pink flamingo peeking through those trees? I think she's trying to play hide and seek with you. Now let's see what we can smell. Can you smell the fresh tropical rain? And maybe even the smell of the tropical flowers. If you've smelled a frangipani before, you'll know that it smells beautifully sweet, just like vanilla. And now, let's see what you can feel. You're about to give your monkey friend a big, giant, cuddly hug, and he feels so soft and furry and fluffy. It feels so good that you don't want to let him go. But he thanks you for the hug, and off he goes, swinging through the trees. You take another deep breath. And now, as you marvel at what a beautiful jungle it is you live in, you love everything about this jungle, the wonderful sights, the lovely scents, but most of all, you love your jungle family and friends. And I want you right now to just put your hands on your heart, and I want you to just feel that unconditional love just for a moment, because it feels so warm and lovely. And now you can start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, and you can gently open your eyes. I hope you really enjoyed our jungle imagination. I really love doing that any time of day where I need to feel calm or just joyful and happy. And that's one more magic trick for today that I've shared with all of you. So I really hope you enjoyed this session with me, and I think you were wonderful listeners. I wish you a very, very exciting reading challenge, your ISP reading challenge. I hope you read lots and lots of books, and don't forget to count your words. It's very important. And remember, I was telling you earlier this week that I believe that reading books helps you expand your horizons. You can discover new people, places, and things. Today, you've discovered Stella in her jungle and all her friends, and a lovely positive message about celebrating your uniqueness and knowing that you are truly loved. So good luck with your challenge. And I just want you to know that if any of you want to have a personalized signed copy of Stella's song, you just have to tell your teacher and your parents, and they will give you a slip, and I will sign myself with your name, and you can have a copy of Stella's song, and you can find the butterfly on every page. So I wish you all a wonderful, joyful, happy day. And I hope you remember all the lovely positive messages and tricks. And I just want to thank all of the schools for inviting me today, because I had such a lovely time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. That was absolutely fantastic. I've been watching the chat, but I think everybody was so living in the moment. They didn't have any time to write questions. So teachers and children, if you've got questions for Stephanie, would you pop them in an email to me at ISP, and I will then share them with Stephanie, and we'll try and get some answers to your questions. Stephanie, it was a great story. Thank you. Thank you for sharing with us. And I want to say thank you to Stella as well for teaching us such an important lesson, that we are all loved. We are loved for being unique. We are loved for being special, and we're loved for being individuals. And that's what makes the world such a wonderful place. I also want to thank you for reminding us that everything is possible as long as you believe you can do it. And you've mentioned you didn't start off as an author, but you obviously believed you could do it, and you've become a wonderful author. And thank you for sharing that story. Events like this take a lot of organising, so I just need to say a few extra thank yous to Hussein for organising our IT, for Chital for arranging everything and organising everything, and to Guy, Sophia and Alicia for creating our reading challenge as well. So thank you very much to everyone else who's been part of organising today. Children, as we leave today, please remember Stella's message and Stephanie's message. You are unique, you are loved, you are special, and you are all individuals. And as you go into this reading month, we want you reading as much as possible, please. And don't forget to write down how many words you are reading, and complete some of our exciting reading challenges. Have a lovely weekend, and have a lovely month, everyone. Stephanie, thank you, and another thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. I love you. Bye. Bye.